Sorry, don't go over there, please.
I need it just for the purposes of
I agree. I only want to tell what to know.
yeah, hey, hey, hey. There is a problem because this is the commentary box. You can use the entrance there. There's an open space there, and you can come right here to where you would like to get to your friends. It is a commentary box, so please respect the space.
Bo. Lolo. All right.
Well, it is a good afternoon to you and welcome to the home of the Rams out here in Rolf Valley in Harare, Zimbabwe. My name is Ruimbo Chakureka and I'm joined in the commentary box by Tariro Chawafambira. We are here to witness the game of the season so far. It is match day 3 of the schoolboy rugby season and it is St. John's taking on Loma Gandhi College. I mean, it is the two colleges from a distant part, but they are coming together in order to clash, Terrio.
Oh, it's so good. The lead up to this match has just been amazing. Lots of people are talking about this game. Lots of people have been talking about this game. Lomagundi Bisons unbeaten. St. John's Rams unbeaten. The atmosphere is set. Everyone's ready. You can sense the anticipation building here at the home of the Rams. But it's going to be spectacular, or at least we hope it's going to be spectacular. Who do you think, Rimbo, is going to come out on top today?
Well, look, I think it is going to be pretty difficult once we do go through the team sheets and look at how today is playing out in terms of the weather and all sorts. We'll then be able to just give a little bit of a prediction, but it is going to be tough times because both these teams have actually slashed down some giants along the way. And so let's see if there will be a giant killing act.
Yep, talking about the weather, it is simply magnificent conditions out here in Harare. We are on Honeyfield, as we mentioned. It's 29 kilometers per hour wind westerly, so maybe slightly too heavy breeze. Whoever's playing from left to right will need to be cautious because the wind is against them. But in terms of the temperature, it's nice and cool, 22 degrees Celsius. Perfect weather conditions, remember, for a game of rugby.
Oh yes, definitely perfect, and we look forward to some good rugby, maybe less knock-ons, but if there's some wind, then kicking might be also made a little bit difficult, and you have to actually take the wind into account as you're sending it through. So of course we can hear the background noise of this fantastic atmosphere that is here, and we'll go straight into the team sheet, starting off with the home side. Now we're looking at quite a number of important names there. One of them which is missing from the team sheet is Greg Pishi. He is missing because of injury, and so standing in the captain's boots is Daniel Erasmus. He'll have a lot to do, but looking at the combinations here, who will be the key people for you?
For me, the previous games they've played, remember that halfback pairing of Connor Grant and Andrew Robinson, both of them very, very good players. They've obviously worked a lot together, and the distribution from Connor Grant and also from Andrew Robinson, the decision making he's made, when to kick, when to pass, when to take the gap. So it'll be exciting to see that halfback pairing. It'll also be exciting to see Tasimbiswa Kadzianike. I didn't watch the game last week against the Dragons, but I'm told he was electric out in the line there. So yeah, for me it's the halfback pairing. Connor Grant, Andrew Robinson, never write out Daniel Erasmus. He is an explosive player, captaining the side today. It's a big blow that Greg Pecci is not in the side. He would have been keen. Listen to him talking during the week saying no one comes here and bullies us on our home turf. So he'll be gutted to miss out today. But yeah, St. John's will be keen.
Oh yes, looking at Loma Gandhi College, well, I mean, just looking at that team sheet, we go straight to the first center, Edward Sigauke, the captain. We all know what he can do. Joshua Chitewe, also electric. We saw what they could do on the Derby Day Festival, so that is going to be key. For Tadiwa Chinwada, he is the vice captain, so he is going to make sure that things are moving in the right direction within the scrum, and so we want to see what will come out there. Also, their halfback pairing has also been very decent, Anesu Mvumi and Michael Mavera. So that will also be quite key as they're coming up against Connor Grant and Andrew Robinson. Whoever makes the better decisions today will ultimately be able to win this match because there's very little that is separating the two.
Very little separating these two sides. Fantastic sides. As we mentioned, they are unbeaten. I want to make a reference to Idanai Marware, the Lomagundi Bison's hooker. One would see him and think maybe he's a bit too heavy, but he is mobile. He has strong carries. I'm excited to see how he influences the game this afternoon.
Oh yes, talking about the two coaches, Max Madziva, Bob Mahari, they bring a lot of experience into schoolboy rugby. Bob Mahari was with Churchill Bulldogs alongside Jeff Madaki. Max Madziva as well was alongside Doug Trivella at St. George's. So they know the terrain, they know what is expected today, and they will be telling the boys what needs to be done. But whilst we're actually talking about that, what has been interesting, though, TC, is to see how the parents as well have also drawn the battle lines, and that have been separated by the placard home of the Rams, where the two headmasters there from Lomagundi College as well as St. John's College are most probably keeping the parents at bay here, because it is going to be blood, sweat and tears on the field of play, and hopefully not in the terraces.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of nail biting, one would fancy. It's a clash that has been spoken about hugely this past week. Remember, mentioned the coaches Max Madziwa and Bob Mahari. Max Madziwa was screened saying during the week, we played together at Older Arians. He's a good guy as Bob Mahari, but today we're not friends. It's going to be battle on the field there. But obviously after the game, you'd fancy they might have a drink together, chat about the game. Ultimately, rugby will be the winner, but both sides here will want that W today.
Oh yes, the W will be important. We can see within the background that the second team match is just about to come to an end, and we're getting ready for this fantastic encounter between the Bisons and the Rams. I mean, just looking at what you would say the namesake, this is the home of the Rams. On Honeydew, we've seen some historic matches, but we've also seen some tears as well being shed, especially as they've gone through some very tough seasons. But it looks like this season they've come to correct the matters that they've suffered in times that have gone before.
Absolutely. They have started with a bang, the Rams. They have really done well. Obviously, with the preseason tour they had, and Max Madziwa again was saying, for us, we just wanted to get the guys back into the swing of things. And then they hosted that fantastic Pure Drop Derby Festival, and again they just continued to rack up some very impressive wins. I mean, beating Falcon, beating PE, that's not an easy feat, but they've done that. And I think just in their grasp, they'll be thinking, boys, an unbeaten season maybe, but they're going to have to get past this Loma Gandhi side today.
Oh yes, they'll have to get past them, but already the pre-match rituals that come with this encounter, that is the Rams being led in by the pipe band. The pipe band, who are now world champions, is going to be very key. And we're already hearing the Loma Gandhi Bison support that is coming through from their teammates, their classmates. They're all lining up in order to put that tunnel in. And so this is what we love about schoolboy rugby, the beauty of it, the camaraderie, the atmosphere that it brings, the togetherness. At times we forget that I'm upper six, I'm lower six, I'm a junior, I'm a senior. This is the time that we hold hands together, hand on shoulder, we bow and we shout and we scream at the top of our voices, and sending our side onto the field of play.
Today it's about one school going against another school. It's not about, you're my junior. Today, both teams, both schools, we see St. John's Prep Lighties also joining the tunnel there. It's just amazing to see. But yeah, it will be fantastic. We hope we're going to see a fantastic game of rugby. Two great schools, you must say, remember, going head to head. The tunnels are set. The St. John's Pipe Band is about to do their thing, and then we will be moments away from kickoff.
Oh yes, we will be moments away from kickoff. Don't you just love the sound of war cries already? We can hear that one coming through from Lomagundi, and we can also see the parents right now. Some of them are beginning to stand in the background. They're getting ready to send the team on. Now, what would you be saying in particular? Let's go to the tactical aspects here. We did mention some of the key players, but let's talk tactically here. If you're Lomagundi playing in an away match, coming onto Honeydew Field, what would be your thoughts coming from Bob Mahari?
I would have no hesitation in telling my boys, secure the ball. Whether you're kicking off, whether you're receiving, make sure you secure that ball. Rack up the phases. I think Loma Gandhi Bisons will keep it in their pack. They've got a very big mobile pack, and I think Bob will be wanting to use that. Not to say they don't have a good backline. They've got an explosive backline that we've alluded to. But I think Bob will be saying, keep the ball, gents. Be patient in attack. Work the phases. And obviously make critical decisions at critical times.
Oh yes, critical decisions has been what has been carrying the Loma Gandhi side through. I mean, let's go through some of their statistics. They come into a pure dropper, a Derby Day Festival, first matchup against Falcon. Many would think our Falcon surely have this one in the bag, and that did not happen. They run away with a 24-21 victory. They go into the next match. Well, that one they were expected to come out with the victory, a 55-0 victory against Wise Owl. They go into the season, and with their first match, they're able to pick up another win. I believe they played against CBC within their first match. They pick up a decent win. And then they go all the way through back to their home ground. And then they notch up a historic win, a 23-19 win. I mean, what a run of games. So surely their confidence must be ridiculous right now.
Oh, they will be booming with confidence, definitely. Taking down the Peterhouse Kings at home in Chinoy, they will be booming with confidence. But today, though, remember, they've got to forget about that. Of course, take the confidence into your next game, but don't take the victory into your next game, because you have to start again. The score will start at 0-0, and they're just going to have to use that confidence to spur them on. And Edward Sigauke has just led the Bisons onto the field.
Oh, yes. Don't I love to see the Bisons on National Geographic? Now I get to see them live on Honeydew.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loma Gandhi supporters, students running off the field now. The pipe band has started to do their traditional. I'm sure you can hear it in the background. It's just fantastic to see. They're on the 50-meter mark. Their headmaster is looking on directly opposite where the players are going to run in, and they will just run with heart, with everything they have through this tunnel, remember.
Oh yes, so they have to do that. So these are the world champions in terms of playing the pipe bags and being the pipe band that they are. And we're glad to say they hail from here in Rolf Valley at the home of the Rams. And here we do have it. It is Daniel Erasmus, as we did mention before, who's taking on armband duties. It is going to be a heavy task this afternoon, but one thing I can say is that they have the support behind them, and they have to do the business. And whilst they are getting onto the field of play, we did mention before with the record of Lomagundi, but let's go to the record of St. John's College. They come through from a tour, and they get straight into it against a very strong side. That is Prince Edward. They win that match. The next match they play against the Falcon, who are wounded mad dogs, I must say, after that loss from Lomagundi. They win that one as well, go straight into the season. They pick up another win as well, and then they beat their age-old rivals, that is St. George's. And this had been a bit of a while having beaten St. George's, because the last time I checked, especially from round about 2017, coming into the COVID era, St. John's had struggled to actually beat St. George's, but here they've done it in 2022.
Yep, they had a tough season last time round. Just spare thought for Greg Petchy, the captain. You could see the look on his face. Yes, he just wants to see his boys do well, but there's that expression that I really, really wanted to be on this pitch today. But it's one of those things we learn in life. You miss out on some, but he will be very keen to get back. And Daniel Erasmus, who's standing in as captain today, has led the Rams onto the field. Remember, we are moments away.
Oh yes, moments away from what needs to be done. And of course, it is the pipe band that is now, straddling off now. And what is going to be amazing here is Lomagundi are kicking off from left to right, and it is Michael Jakawapano who is going to be taking charge of this one. And you know, there is pressure on every referee, and of course a bit of prayer there before we go about things. Always good to look up to the higher power there.
Yep, always good to look up to the higher powers. They're down on one knee. Well, they're up now, and it will be the Bisons kicking off. The Bison supporters are in full voice. Very soon you will see the Ram of there. is Michael Mavera. He's got to put in a good shift today to keep Andrew Robinson in check.
Oh yes, I wonder the flutters within his heart right now, how he has to be thinking about what am I going to do right now, how high must I hang it, how deep must it go, because this is the first one and usually the first determines the rest. Sometimes if you have just a poor kickoff, and then that could actually filter into the rest of your game. But Michael Mavera getting ready, and here we go.
Ooh.
And as I did mention before, it was a horrible kick, and immediately that is going to be a scrum at the halfway line, and that hands possession straight over to the Rams, who can actually launch their first offensive.
Oh, definitely not the start they would have wanted, the Bisons. They need to scrum well now, though. But St. John's Rams will be happy with the outcome. They get a feed at the first set piece of the game. They are coming down to the left side. You see Andrew Robinson, Daniel Erasmus, and the back line there, Tadiwa Majga and Malachi Burrell. They're formed there. Are we going to see maybe a dummy run down the short side? We'll see, but it is Connor Grant under the referee's orders. Please, can we get the ball in straight? Both front rowers. But it's going to be important, remember, for Michael Mavera to get over that early mistake and carry on with the game here.
Oh, yes, it can play on your mind, but look, you need to put it behind you and actually focus right now. And the most important thing that they have to focus on right now is their defense, because the Rams are about to launch their first offensive. And it will be key to see here how they go about things. Will they be decoy runs, much like what we saw during the Derby Day Festival? Those decoy runs totally bamboozled Prince Edward. But from this point, let's see how they go about things. Well, the ball has been passed on the blind side, and they are going. It looks like the young man that you spoke about, Tasimbiswa Madzianike, going through. He had a bucket load of pace, but luckily enough, Lomagundi were able to get the ball down in the in-goal area, and that will mean it is a 5-meter scrum, or it looks like actually the ball went straight through, and that might be a 22 dropout here for Lomagundi.
Yep, it was the first scrum of the game, but it's important to note, although the Rams got the ball from the scrum, there was the shove from the Bison, so they won't be too disappointed with that outcome. And we see another error in the game early on. Clearly both sides feeling the occasion here.
Oh yes, feeling the heat of the occasion.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they just need to settle down, just calm down, get the ball in hand, make a couple of passes, go through a couple of phases so that you get into the game. Once they're in the game, then I'm sure they can be able to execute whatever they want to execute. But this gives Lomagundi now that opportunity to get their back line moving. And I'm waiting to see what Edward Sigauke has for us today. Joshua Chitewe is one as well to watch out for. If he gets the ball, believe me, he's going to be serious. But Ryan Chiwaya gets the ball straight to his halfback. That's Anesu Mvumi, and he really drives through. But once again, Tariro, you were talking about it. Secure the ball. You cannot afford to be open like that. You will be punished. And that's exactly what the Rams have done. A quick tap and go by Connor Grant here. He's sending it out straight to his to Giordano Sapo. But he sends it out once again to Stefan Kruger, and he's still looking to offload the ball. But finally, they can set up a ruck and get going.
Yeah, Tanaka Mupamadzi, the Lomagundi center there, was caught isolated, but it's Connor Grant. He puts it to boot. It's well covered, though, by Brandon Gwenzi, and immediately it's the counter-attack. That back line, they need to stop them immediately, do St. John's, because we keep mentioning their names. Do not give them space, contain them. They are confident enough, remember, to run it from their own half, as we see.
Oh yes, and going straight into contact, there is Andrew Creel getting it from Vumi Chinwada, passing it down the line. Well, the hands are definitely moving, and look at the offloads and inside pop pass. That is Michael Mavera. Is that Michael Mavera? No, it looks like it is there, number 11, Joshua Chitewe. We did mention him. He pops it up to the captain, Edward Sigauke. Can he make it through? Oh, goodness me. It looks like Lomagundi here are putting the Rams under some serious pressure. The pop pass there unfortunately doesn't come off, but that was a really good passage of play there for Lomagundi. Look at the way that they were offloading the ball, the inside pop passes. That's exactly how you shatter defenses.
They do not want to give this Bison's backline space, Rimbo. They need to cut it in the bud right away, because we've seen from their own half in a moment of seconds, they're in the St. John's Rams half. It is a defensive scrum for the Rams. I mentioned that first set piece we had, the Bisons put on a shove. This time it's early, they get the short arm, so not good there from the Bisons, but wow, they have made their way back into this game well.
A bit of indiscipline, but Connor Grant, they're looking immediately to get things moving. But a really good run by Daniel Erasmus going into contact. And there we go, St. John's now looking to go through a couple of phases. But I would mention once again, they are playing in the wrong half at the moment. I would prefer Andrew Robinson to get his boot to the ball, get them outside of their own half, and then be able to push on from there. Dab through the defense, trying to find a way through, but a well washed by Tofara Mutandi, and that hands possession back to Loma Gandhi. And I'm not so sure if that dab through was actually going to work, but I did mention I would have loved to see Andrew Robinson gain some territory for them. Play in the half of Loma Gandhi. Even if they have the ball, you can force a mistake, force a penalty and knock on, and it will happen.
Yeah, it's both sides just proving to each other that we can run the ball. St. John's also working their way upfield. Daniel Erasmus eventually decided to put a little chip over, but not working out as he would have wanted it. But the result is not bad because they've got the ball back. The line-out throw was not in straight, so Idanai Marware also maybe the heat of the occasion getting to him in that first line-out of the game. But not a bad start from both sides. They've both made errors, but not a bad start at all.
Yeah, not a bad start at all, and I'm sure the game is going to get more interesting as we continue to go about business here. So the referee there having a little bit of a chat with Loma Gandhi. Guys, relax. Hold. When I say hold, you've got to hold so that they don't lose the ball. And I think Loma Gandhi here should be confident enough to actually hold or even push the St. John's scrum, because they've got big boys in there.
Yep, they do have big boys. I think the weight advantage is definitely on the Bison side. No early shove this side, but again, we see them going forward. They do well to get the ball back. A little set piece move that works out, almost works out brilliantly there from the Rams. So both back lines showing that, hang on, we've also got it, are the Rams saying.
Oh yes, I did expect the decoy runs to come through, and as I did mention before, that would be something that they would want to use against the backline of Loma Gandhi. But once again, ball handling being their own worst enemy. What I would also love to see, it is early days within the match right now. However, I would love to see those basic skills being executed, much like what Loma Gandhi did on the far side in terms of just the ball handling and the inside pop passes. If you're running the right lines, then you can pop the ball through. Once again, another eighth-man break by Ryan Chiwaya, but immediately loses possession. That will not be making Bob Mahari happy in any kind of way. And with that, hands over the advantage to the Rams. Now the Rams can get moving through. Oh, lovely.
It's Connor Bennett.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Connor Bennett doing really well there and gaining some yardage for them. Oh, here comes a big hit, but immediately losing the ball in contact, and that should hand the possession back to Loma Gandhi there. And that was Mufudzi Magadzire. And look at the size of that youngster. I mean, he's really big, and immediately showing that I'm here to do business.
Yep, he's a big unit, but going back to that good run by Connor Bennett a few moments ago, he kept the ball in two hands. He kept the opposition guessing. They thought maybe he's going to pass. They were covering for the pass. He just kept going. So wonderful basics there from Connor. Ball in two hands, keep your opposition guessing.
All right, let's see if this time round Loma Gandhi Bisons don't end up losing the scrum because of wanting to shove a little bit too early there. And I mean, they've got the size. They've been pushing the Rams, but what has been good about the Rams is quickly getting the ball out. Now I think they desist from the eighth-man break. A decoy run, a poor pass. But it looks like Sigauke looking to run from his own 22, loses his footing and loses possession. That was a very poor decision from the captain.
You know, just before that scrum, remember I was going to say I think they need to change it up a bit. I thought they were going to do the 8-9 again, but they didn't. So maybe they should have kept with the 8-9 because that didn't work out, and it's pressure on them because they're in the 22 and the Rams have a wonderful opportunity maybe to maul it upfield and then get that back line into the game again.
Well, it looks like the last touch may have actually come from a Rams player there. Oh wow, okay, well we can see the touch judge is pointing in the right direction. Maybe the scrummer for holding onto the ball far too long. We thought the position had changed hands. Well, St. John's have been able to get that one. Robinson gets the ball. Another looping run comes through but doesn't quite come off for Daniel Erasmus. He is fending off and the ball is lost once again. Oh, goodness me. Found themselves in an offside position and so that one goes toward Lomagundi.
Yep, goes towards Loma Gandhi. There was a knock on. It was then played in an offside position. So good call there from our referee. But yeah, passing accuracy not too good and kicking accuracy not too good as well from Loma Gandhi there. Failing to find touch. It's been put to boot. Was he behind the kicker? It's gone. It's a good touch finder. Taken play right back to almost where that line out was.
Oh yes, I had to take it back. We made the mistake back there. So let's go back there and make sure that it all works out. So ultimately at the end of the day, Loma Gandhi here are playing in a dangerous space. It is their own 22. They need to get out. I do know that Sigauke most probably wants to run, but at this moment I think either a dab over or even finding touch might actually be helpful for him in the half of the Rams.
Yep, that was actually a 50-22, so fantastic from Kadzianike. They get the line out back, so wonderful game awareness there from him. Pressure on the scrum off. Andrew Robinson, again the accuracy and the line running not too good, but Erasmus somehow pulls a Sonny Bill Williams pass out the back door. Fantastic to watch. Now the ball is moving. Sigauke had his hands on it, so he's not just the runner, but he's in there as one in the thick of things. But they get the ball back. So fantastic defense from the Bisons.
Oh yes, fantastic defense from the Bisons. Now it comes back to what you were saying. It's now time for them to change it up. The 8-9 has not necessarily been working in their favor, or rather maybe some of the lines that are being run are not necessarily working. So let's now get back to the 9-10, the usual, the basic rugby. Let's get it out to the fly off here. Let's get Michael Mavera on the ball. Send out Edward Sigauke and Tanaka Mpamadzi. I'm sure they're itching for the ball right now and trying to make things work for themselves. So here come the Bisons. They have another strong scrum, another 8-man break. It's an 8-9. The 9 coming through, but once again, not necessarily good for them. Almost finds touch, but it's Malachi Burrell. He breaks through one tackle, looking to break through another. It's actually Stefan Kruger there deciding to go for contact. Connor Grant almost went on the blind side with no one watching him.
Yeah, he noticed the space down the short side. Clever from Connor Grant there, but it was a desperate tackle to bring him down. Number 8 is over the ball. That's Ryan Chiwaya. Is he done so legally? He has. No, he hasn't. So falling over the ball, St. John's Rams taken quickly by number 1. That's Tanaka Gonese. He puts it down. First points of the game. Oh, what a spot from Tatenda Gonese.
Oh yes, actually just drawing some inspiration from what would have been Connor Grant's responsibility there. A quick tap and go, and he's able to get over the line, and Tatenda Gonese has put the first 5 points on the board for St. John's. So once again, we did mention Lomagundi were just playing rugby in the wrong area, in their own half, and they've ultimately paid the price for it. It was a penalty, a quick tap and go, and already you see a forward playing like a backline player.
He spotted it, didn't it? Exactly right in front of the referee. He put the ball down, tapped it, and not many, in fact, no one could stop him there. So it's 5-0 to the Rams. They've opened the scoring here with a kick to come. He kicked well in the Derby Festival, did Andrew Robinson. Does he have his kicking boots on today?
Well, hopefully he does, and hopefully he will. But let's see how things will go together at this point. Comes through. It looks like it's pretty good. Oh, unfortunately hits the post there. So dragging it a little bit too much to the left. And that means St. John's will have to be content with 5 points to nil. So one of the things that we won't be seeing today is, of course, coaches running on with water, looking at that replay. Tatenda Gonese up to the task. The rest of the Lomagundi defense was caught dumbfounded and on the back of their feet. So ultimately, you have to wake up when penalties have been given. But as we mentioned, we won't be seeing coaches running onto the field of play with any water. So, Doug Trivella, I think you have been sidelined for this one. You'll have to just walk the touchline, my brother.
Yeah, so, and well taken by Andrew Robinson, managing to get that ball before it bounced. But I think that's what this game needed. Remember, it needed a side to score. Hopefully it opens up. There'll be a lot of free-flowing rugby from now on. But it was 0-0 for a very long time. They are deciding to run it. Not working out though. Is it off the foot? Yeah, it's not off the foot. It was off the foot. And then it was knocked by Loma Gandhi. It did look like it came off the foot there. I had thought the same, but he's the man with the whistle.
Oh, yes.
So we go with his decision.
Oh, yes, most definitely. We go with his decision. So, Michael Zakawa Pano there calling a knock-on in favor of the Rams. So, Rams will be looking forward to getting out of this particular area. Now, there was a huge overlap there, and I see what Andrew Robinson was trying to execute, but maybe the person he was looking to pass to was maybe one person too far. If he had just sent it through to maybe, here's the second center there, that's Tadiwa Majga, maybe he would have had a bit more joy. But nonetheless, it is Connor Grant, sends it out to Andrew Robinson, and look, this is exactly what you need. And there we go, a boot straight into the 22 of Loma Gandhi. And wow, what can we say from here? These are some of the things that we're talking about. Being able to kick for touch, being able to find that 50-22 kick that will hand possession back. So Loma Gandhi wondering, I mean, why is it their ball? Well, son, World Rugby changed the rules. It's not the ref.
Yep. The entire St. John's Rams bench met that kick with a standing ovation. That's how good that kick was. Taking play deep into territory where they scored the first try, but it's spoiled by the Bisons. It's now their turn to run the ball up. A forced pass, though, by Michael Mavera. Works out for them because Brandon Gwenzi cleaned up quite nicely. They're still persisting with running the ball from deep. I don't know if this is the best idea. Eventually put to boot, but Kadzianike, you don't want to give him much space. Luckily for the Bisons, they had a penalty advantage.
Oh yes, luckily for them. It is 15 minutes gone within the first half here, so the Bisons don't really have too much time. They would want to maybe go into the halftime break at parity, or at least leading, in order to give them that confidence coming into the second half. But you cannot stop a good man when he wants to make sure his boys are doing the business, and that is, of course, Doug Trevella, who is manning the touchline right now, because he knows that minute by minute as it passes through, he has to keep the focus of the boys in the match.
Yeah, but there comes a time when you need to let the boys play on the field. But hey, coaching styles differ. They do both sides, I'm sure, as we see the Gandhi coaches there sitting. Precious Pazani looking from the sidelines. I'm sure she would want to have the whistle and blowing this game.
Oh, there we go. Konese again going through with a lovely carry. Connor Grant, quick ball coming out. Inside pop pass, lovely rugby here being played by the Rams. A quick ball out to Andrew Robinson, sending it out to Daniel Erasmus. He's looking to go on the outside, and there we go. Oh. Can it be try time? I don't think that was try time. I don't think that was try time. I think he was a little bit hesitant there and a little bit complacent. But here we go. I'm not so sure whether the touch judge here ruled that he may have been bumped into touch or it was a try. But it looks like the referee may just have.
Oh, you know what? It's poor. If he failed to score from such a position, it's poor. The coaches will be really unhappy with that. Put in the dive earlier. Put in the dive earlier. Dot the ball down. So it's not a try. It's going to be
an in-goal drop kick.
So they'll be really, really disappointed there with the Rams. They had an opportunity to go at least 10 points up in this first half. Deep searching kick there. Andrew Robinson has it. Tells his players, I'm going right. He's looking for pass. Ball is in two hands. How's that for a little cheeky pass? Connor Grant now, he's lifted up. But he does well to find Andrew Robinson.
Oh yes, now Lomagundi Bisons looking to push them into touch, but unfortunately that doesn't come off. So Lomagundi here will have to have their defense coming up pretty well. Can there be a counter-ruck? No. Connor Grant picks it up, and Stefan Kruger goes straight into contact there. Once again, quick ball. What a lovely take by Daniel Erasmus. That was going behind him, and immediately the ball has been protected. Connor Grant looking for the pass, but immediately taken down. And there we go. We see the Bisons looking to counter-ruck, but they've failed to do it cleanly. Ball comes out once again. That one is a knock-on by the Rams, and they were so close. I think just being an eager beaver at that moment did not allow them to take full advantage. Ball comes out, deciding to go for the kick. Charged
No
down.
advantage.
Charged down,
No
but
advantage.
no advantage there, so the referee is going to call it back, and I believe it is going to be a knock-on there by the Rams, and the ball goes back to the Bison. So as time continues to flow here, you still feel that the Bisons are still trying to settle in this match. They haven't been able to play the free-flowing rugby that we know them to play.
They haven't settled at all. Remember, all the statistics are going against them at the moment, especially the territory and the ball possession. There's the replay. They were under a knock-on advantage, but it was a fantastic chase from Giordano Sapo. They thought they were in, did the Rams, but the advantage not played. And again, under pressure in the clearance, but whoa. A bit of a scuffle here on the bench. Someone almost falling over behind the bench, but back to the game. Remember, the Rams are in the driving seat at the moment.
Oh yes, firmly in the driving seat. What they would want to do is convert. When you have this possession, you must be able to convert. But here comes the ball from the Bisons. Oh my goodness, he didn't see that there was no one there. Oh, and luckily the Bisons were able to grab the ball, get it into the in-goal area, but that brings it to a 5-meter scrum, but it's still in favor of the Rams. And if they get a quick ball in, well, Connor Grant, Andrew Robinson can be really dangerous for the Bisons here.
Yeah, Tofara Mutandi there trying to make a forced pass, went to no one, and he was really under pressure. So it's more like they're crumbling at the moment, the Bisons, but that's a perfect opportunity for the Rams to capitalize. They won't want to finish this half at 5-0. There we see the replay. He tried to make a forced pass. That's just a moment of madness, you'd think. But lucky not to get a try scored against him there.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, that is like a Hail Mary that is not needed, and we can see from that replay there was an injury to one of the St. John's players here. Just trying to take a look at who got injured, but it looks like it might have actually been their 8th man, Munyaradzi Rurezo, but he looks like he's much better right now and getting ready to go with proceedings. So one of the things that I know St. John's must not do here is try to take on the Bison's scrum. Clearly that one has been shoving them back. Luckily for them, they've been getting the ball out of the scrum quickly. So get the ball in and out quickly, and they should be able to do the business.
Oh, there we go. There's the shove. We keep mentioning, but they've done it illegally, so it's a full arm now. But definitely at scrum time, St. John's won't want to keep the ball in that scrum for long. It's taken quickly by Connor Grant. Finds Andy Robinson, a bit of dummy running there, but eventually he didn't pass. He took it to ground. Long searching pass to Tasimbiswa Kadzianike. He has to go backwards to clean it up, and the pressure's on.
Oh yes, and they take him straight into touch. That was a wise idea. Not so sure. Well, it is some of the gamesmanship that we always expect from these boys. Just trying to show you that I am in control. And at that particular point, the Bisons were in control. But throughout the match, it doesn't look like they have been, especially within this first half. So here comes the line out. It has been taken. Let's see if they can run the ball down the line here. Michael Mavere has been making some poor decisions, and as I did mention before, Tariro, that it was always going to be important. That first drop kick as you start the match, that will give you the confidence to feel that I can do this throughout the match. But here we go, ball coming through. They decide to go for the kick, and it looks like the wind working firmly against Loma Gandhi here. And we did mention before, if you're going to be playing from left to right, with the way that the wind is blowing, it's going to be very difficult. You have to count the wind in when you're actually making that kick.
And also remember, it's how it means that's how important it is for St. John's Rams to use this field a half that they have. They are playing with the wind, and they need to use it. We've seen those two 50-22s, but they need to use it. Another weird pass I would call from the scrum half, but Michael Mavera has done well. Edward
Lovely
Sigauke.
side step. He's through. That is Edward Sigauke, and he is bursting through. Stefan Kruger can't catch him. He can't catch him.
Edward Sigauke.
He levels matters, and the Bisons have come ramming back.
They needed that, Rambo. They needed that. They needed to get back into this game. Edward Sigauke, if you had bet money on him scoring, well, go and get your money.
Oh yes, definitely go get your money. I don't know which betting house you would be using, but you're definitely going to get a double payout. What a run from Edward Sigauke. You just kind of saw once he just went through that sidestep and he wrong-footed. That was Tadiwa Majga. He was straight through and there was nothing that Stephen Kruger could do. He tried to follow him, but ultimately it was a desperate dive to no avail, and it's try time. So scores are now level. St. John's 5 and Loma Gandhi Bisons 5. But one thing I must say, Michael Mavera was able to overcome some of his jitters, get the ball to Sigauke and let him do the business. Connor Grant left for dead. Stephen Kruger left for dead. Tasimbiswa Madzianike left for dead. I mean, hey, he just couldn't leave anymore.
The whole team. He will leave the whole team for dead. Edward Sigauke, don't give him that space. If they hadn't learnt, they have now. Daniel Erasmus with a desperate attempt. The rest was history. He had what it takes to dot it down, and they've got a chance now to take the lead for the first time in this game.
Well, here comes Michael Mavere. He goes for it high, mighty. Oh, and unfortunately, he just doesn't get the direction right. But anyway, they would be happy. I'm sure Bob Mahari will have a sigh of relief right now and say, finally, boys, you got what I needed you to do. And that was, of course, find the gaps and then be able to break through. So it is, once again, the Rams of 5 and the Bisons 5. St. John's College taking on Lomagundi College, the two undefeated sides this season so far. And we have reached 25 minutes right now. That is a deep searching kick. But here we go. A big long one by Tanaka Mpamadzi.
Oh, that is a fantastic kick. Remember, they have that spring in their step now. I mean, that is Francois Stein-like. That's from in his 22. He's taken play to just 5 meters short of the St. John's 22. He must have some quads there.
Oh, yes, he definitely has some quads. Actually, he's gone into the 22. That's why it's a 50-22 kick. And it goes straight to Lomagundi. Can they attack again? Looking for the pass. Oh, well, unfortunate. They're just popping it up when the pass was not on. So St. John's will be counting their lucky stars that they are not on the back foot now. They are now on the front foot and will be looking to get out of their own 22. Give it to their big man, Mufudzi Magadzire. And he lays it up for Connor Grant. They decide to go for a little dab behind the back line, picked up by the eighth man, Ryan Echiwaya. He's running across. He's looking for support. He gets it through to Tanaka Mpamadzi, and he is holding up so that he can wait for his boys to arrive, and the support has finally arrived. Here we go. Oh, what a dummy. And the broken through. That's Michael Mavere. Oh, another dummy. Can he pop it up? Oh, well. Stephen Kruger there blocking that pass. It has been popped up again to Edward Sigauke. Now they have to find another. Oh, that's a big one by Tadiwa Chinwada. Looking for another outlet.
There he is, Idanai Marwane now. Taking it up, but referee's not happy. You know what? Remember, the Bisons are back in this contest. They have some confidence now. They're working some phases together, and the Rams are under pressure here.
Oh yes, they're under pressure, and once again, it comes back to, if you look back into the half, for the first 15 or so minutes, St. John's were all over Lomagundi. They should have taken advantage, should have scored points, and there where we had the in-goal drop kick, that was supposed to be a try. They wouldn't have been crying too much had that one actually gone down. But in any case, they have to just say that is water under the bridge. Let's now move forward. The Bisons are on the ascendancy.
On the ascendancy, the ball is put in. We see the eighth man giving it to his scrum half, Anesu Mvumi. It's the back line. Edward Sigauke. Does he do well to regain the ball? Looks like he did. Almost looked like a knock-on. But they've got the penalty advantage to the Bisons. McLeod Muzondiwa carrying the ball down the short side. Yep, they go back for the penalty. Posts or corner or tap. What do you go for, remember?
I would actually go for the post. This one is literally 10 meters, 10 to 15 meters away from the in-goal area. I mean, the posts are right in front of you. I would say to Michael Mavera, go for post. keep the scoreboard ticking, put pressure back on the Rams.
Remember, are you wired to the Loma Gandhi coaches or someone on the field? Because as you mentioned, go for posts. The referee signaled his assistant referees to go for posts. Much easier kick you'd fancy. Kicking against the wind, but so close to the poles, you think the wind won't affect this kick.
All right, surely he just needs to send it in straight, not too much of an angle towards his kick. Let's see what Michael Mavera will do here. He goes for it. It goes over like a dying duck, but it does the business nonetheless. Loma Gandhi, the Bisons are now in the lead, leading 8 points to 5 against St. John's. The Rams here will be a little bit disappointed after dominating pretty much half of the first half.
They will be disappointed. They started very well, but they're finishing this half not so well. Andy Robinson, high hanging kick, not claimed by the Bisons. Eventually they claim it. Pressure being put on number 11. That's Joshua Chitewe. He presents the ball, and now Andrew Creel. There's one of the big boys carrying the ball up nicely now. The back line, which you don't want to give space, and they don't want to play in their 22, remember.
Oh yes, and immediately that's taken up by Stephen Kruger. He's deciding to go into contact, breaks through 1 or 2 tackles. Can he be the one to equalize matters here, or at least send the Rams back into the lead? Not so. He loses the ball in contact, and immediately the referee calls for a penalty there, and that is actually playing whilst they're on the ground. A quick tap and go by Connor Grant. Daniel Rasmus sends it out to Tadiwa Majga, and here we go. It is the Rams that are over, and it is a try time for the Rams. Well, that was against the run of play. One would feel the Loma Gandhi defense just stagnant, going static all of a sudden, and allowing Malachi Burrell to actually go for the try.
Questions need to be asked there of the defense. We had just come from praising how Loma Gandhi Bisons had come back into this game, and here we see Daniel Erasmus finding Tadiwa Majga. Tadiwa Majga then found Malachi Burrell, who just had the chalk to beat. It's almost like they're saying, you score a try, run it in, because we're going to do the same to you just now.
Well, I'm not so sure if you can count on that, because that could become a little bit more difficult as the game progresses. But it is the Rams that are now back in the lead at 10 points to 8 with a conversion to come. They need to get this one over just to add some more points on the board and not to keep it too close, because who knows, this might go all the way down to the wire.
It might do so. The score is just 2 points difference with this kick to come. Andy Robinson missed his first kick. He didn't miss this one. Straight through the middle, and he gives a bit of gamesmanship to the Loma Gandhi crowd who were chirping him all the way, but he proves them wrong.
Well, it definitely is going to be one for the highlights. But in any case, it is St. John's who are now leading 12 points to 8. A seesaw game. We expected it to be a seesaw game. We expected the Bisons not to give up in any kind of way. But Michael Mavera will also be counting the fact that he missed his conversion as well. It could have just been a 2-point game when they scored that try. But, well, don't count the spilt milk. You just have to count what is in front of you. So here come the Rams, breaking through another tackle. The Bison's defense has just been a little bit too poor here, and it looks like they're locked. That is number 5, Joshua Gallant, has just broken through a number of tackles here and given St. John's the advantage that they need. And on the far side, it is Madzianike. He releases the ball out to Munyaradzi Rurerezo. But the ball taken out, and here comes the big man. That is Mufudzi Magadzire. And they're now closer to the 5-yard area, but it was a knock-on by the Rams, and they give away possession. So all that momentum, once again, Tariro, not counting for anything. And the Rams, they cannot afford to do that, especially when you're in a big game like this. Whilst we're talking about that, we actually do have a little bit of an injury to Andrew Creel, and that is within the St. John's half. It doesn't look like he's looking too good right now.
Yeah, that was such a great attack by Joshua Gelant there. Remember, he spotted some space in front of him, bust some tackles, and then offloaded it. Just what you want your tight 5 to do. You're big, you're strong. There's times you need to use it with ball in hand. So fantastic there. There's the carry just before the knock-on. There it is. It came in contact. Probably one coming from his assistant referee there.
Oh, yes. One of the things that I'm just not happy about Mufudzi Magadzire's with the size that he has and the amount of, momentum that he can carry with. You cannot afford to lose the ball like that, especially as a tight five. It is not allowed in rugby. You're not supposed to lose the ball. You're the one who's supposed to secure it. But nonetheless, Loma Gandhi Bisons will take it on, and I'm sure they are going to look to clear their lines here. A huge Francois Stein boot once again. This one taking it pretty much over the halfway line. It looks like it might be going straight into touch.
Jeez. This,
But
yeah, my word.
he's got a huge hoof, doesn't he?
Sheepers. Tanaka Mupamadzi. I wouldn't want to be kicked by him. I would feel it into the new year. Forward pass.
And that hands the advantage back to the Bison. So they won't be crying too much about the fact that the ball had gone out and most probably would have gone into the hands of the Rams. Here they have got now a scrum, and they can actually move from here, and if they score a try, they'll be back in the lead once again. And I'm sure they want to get it to their man, their captain, the man himself, the captain, Captain Bison would love to call him, Edward Sigauke.
Yep. Edward definitely will be eyeing something here. He's just electric, and off scrum, they've split their line, so keeping the St. John's Rams backline guessing which way are they going. Obviously, they're going the Sigauke side, but it's a good tackle from the loose head there.
Oh, goodness me. Ryan Chiwaya there, very, very poor in terms of protecting the ball after that 8th-man break, and that just hands the possession to St. John's Rams. But here come Lomagundi popping the ball out to Brendan Magwenzi. He decides to pop it out once again to McLeod Mzondiwa, but he has been pushed straight into touch. So I don't think they needed to have kept the play on the far side. I think they should have gone into contact, secure the ball, then try to run the ball down the line coming through this way. But with that final piece of play, that brings us to the end of this exhilarating and, of course, heart-wrenching, heart-pumping first half between the Rams, that is St. John's College, and Lomagundi Bisons. And so here we go, looking at that replay. Oh, yes, McLeod Mzondiwa totally thrown into the touchline, though I don't usually think that referee is like that.
No, they don't like that. You don't really want to be running to the touchline. That is the 16th defender, so they'll want to regroup. But it is halftime, and what a half we've had. Second half coming up shortly. Don't go too far away.
Well, a good afternoon to you and welcome back to the second half of this enthralling encounter between St. John's College, the Rams. They are on home ground and they're taking on Lomagundi Bisons. These are the two undefeated sides so far, particularly on home turf. Right here in Zimbabwe, they haven't lost a match whatsoever this season. So today, whoever comes out of this one will most likely have the ability to go ahead and have an undefeated season. But then again, it is early days. It is only match day 3. Now the Rams will be coming out of the dressing room here with Max Madziva not too happy with camping in the half of your opposition for more than 15 minutes and not coming out with points.
Yep, he will be. But what second half it's going to be, remember, it's do or die. You've got to make sure you score points early on in the first half, maintain the pressure on your opposition, but both sides need to start the second half well, which we didn't see in the first half.
Oh yes, I think now all the nerves clearly have gone down. Michael Mavera, for me, unfortunately, has not been doing the business as he should. Some of the pop passes that he has been trying to execute have just not been on at the time that he has been trying to do that. We saw at the one moment that he did have a moment of brilliance once he laid it on to Edward Sigauke. Edward Sigauke did the business. So what's important right now? Make sure the passes are clean, the passes are getting to the individuals so that they can, of course, inflict damage against your opposition.
Absolutely. I had a bit of a laugh during the halftime break. One of the parents who's watching here said Edward Sigauke is not playing today. And I said he is. He's the one who scored the try. And I said his hair has grown back. That's why. Because during the Derby Festival, his head was bald. So we had a little laugh there. But second half is underway. It's a deep kick from Andrew Robinson. He's forced the error from Tanaka Mupamadzi, the man with the big boot, unfortunately not being able to catch the ball this time. So early pressure from the Rams. Line out, capitalize is what Max Madzima will be saying right now. Capitalize, capitalize, capitalize.
Oh yes, they have to capitalize, and of course the Bisons will have to make things work out for themselves if that is to work out. But we can see in the far corner of the screen there, the Churchill Bulldogs also just eyeing, maybe just seeing whether they'll be playing any one of these sides a little bit later on in the season. But with that line out not going in straight, that should mean that the Bisons get the ball and they should go about things here. But once again, Tanaka Mpamadzi, he's got a huge boot, this youngster. I'm sure he'll be considered for the Craven Week side.
I can't get over his boot. It's just massive. He kicks almost the full length of the field. It's ridiculous. At 18 years old, who does that?
Well, apparently Tanaka Mpamadzi actually it does that one. But it is Anesu Mvumi who has the ball in hand. I also must say I've not also been impressed with his distribution. It hasn't seemed to be on point. But I'm sure that Bob Mahari has spoken about it and he will want to see a better performance in the second half. But here comes the ball. The 8-man protection coming through. Mpamadzi with the ball again.
Didn't get the connection this time, so not a great kick, but the Rams, number 14, Tasimbiswa Kadzianike, he was electric against the Dragons last week, putting in the fend, but he's wrapped up now by number 6. That is Leo Nyamusa. It's a more. They're going to need to keep it in there if they want to turn over possession. He's fighting to get his knees down. Is it now a tackle?
Well, the ball has been ripped away from him, and Michael Zakawapano was allowing play to continue there, but it looks like he is going to be making a different decision here, saying, hold on, Connor, calm down, son. I am the one with the whistle. Let me talk to my touch judge. He will tell me what is going on. And of course, Simbadanga there just assisting Michael Zakawapano in making the right decision. So it looks like... I think that he had gotten his knees on the ground and that they kept on dragging him, so maybe that will change things around. And it looks like a penalty has been given in favor of St. John's. If I was them, look, Andrew Robinson does look like he's got a boot on him. I would rather go for post.
But the breeze now, remember that breeze we spoke about
It's now
in
against
that
them.
first half. Remember we said it, they need to score as many points as they can in that first half. They did, I guess. They scored 12. Was that enough? You're now kicking against the wind. You need to be sure, even your touch finders, you need to make sure they don't get caught in the wind. So don't go for too much distance. Get the ball out and start from there.
Oh yes, so let's see. He decides to find a touch, and it looks like they are gonna set up a mole and maybe try drive for the in goal area. But once again, I'm not so sure if that one is going to work really, because we did mention in terms of the sizes of the packs, Lomagundi has got a bigger pack. The ball has been collected, but not so cleanly, and immediately the Bisons get in with a tackle. There we go. Connor Grant straight to Andrew Robinson, who sends it through to Daniel Rasmus. Now he sends it out to Stefan Kruger, who loves contact, this young man. He pops it out to Kadzianike.
Great offload in contact there from Tasimbiswa Kadzianike to find Connor Grant. They need to keep doing this, patient in attack. Don't try force things. Great carry from Mufudzi Magadzire yet again. Strong, big lad, but he needs to be making more meters with those kilograms he carries. Again, they're just trying to force the pass, but working out nicely. Stefan Kruger, remember, carrying the ball up yet again. He's been good today.
Oh yes, he has been good today. He's been making some really good runs, breaking some tackles. But Connor Grant sends it out to Andrew Robinson, who decides to go into contact once again, and looking maybe to just bundle up a couple of phases. Tackle there coming through on that is Munyaradzi Rureredzo, and the ball looks like it has been turned over by Lomagundi here, but once again just making those intercepts whilst you're still on the ground, so that will not work out for you. You'll be penalized for that.
If I was the St. John's coach after this passage of play, I would be really, really happy with my players. Why? Because they took the ball to the right, racking up the phases. They brought it out to the left again. I think they must have had about 10 phases there, so it's something is building up there. Keep the ball, be patient. Eventually the gaps will open up, and they've done that in that particular piece of play. They need to keep doing that.
Oh yes, they need to do that. Michael Zakawapano just taking them just backward a little off their own 22, sending it out to Andrew Robinson. Daniel Rasmus breaks through one tackle, decides to pop it up. Andrew Robinson takes it. Tadiwa Majga there had missed it totally, but Connor Grant has the ball. There's a huge overlap. If they can pass the ball across, and it looks like it is Joshua Gallant who decides to go over the try line, into the in-goal area, and it is St. John's leading 17 points to 8. You now kind of feel it might just be sliding away from Lomagundi here, particularly with that piece of play.
Fantastic call from Daniel Erasmus not to kick it into touch and not to go for poles. They had just come from a 10-phase attack, and they decided to keep that momentum. And as I called it, eventually, we see Josh Gallant, who scored the try, being congratulated by his teammates. But eventually, the gaps will open up. They need to keep doing that. Not too much pressure on themselves. Keep maintaining the ball. Work it up. Ball continuity is going to be very important for them. On the other hand, Loma Gandhi, remember, they need to respond, and they need to respond soon.
Oh yes, very soon. With the conversion yet to come, it could go to 19 points to 8, and that would take it into generally a 2-try game. And it looks like the conversion is successful. Well done to Andrew Robinson. He is looking very confident there, and he takes a little bit of a sipper there just to make sure that he's rehydrated for the rest of the match. So it is St. John's leading 19 points to 8 against Lomagundi. Now, Lomagundi were the comeback kings last weekend over the Peterhouse Kings. So let's see whether the Bisons can now get back into the thick of things. What I've been surprised by, and what I'll continuously hammering against Lomagundi, is the fact that they are freezing when penalties have been given, and their defense is being found in shambles. But anyway, Katsianike with a good take. He sends it off. A little bit of an offload pass there. Oh, lovely inside pop pass. Connor Grant is going about things. A tackle, but it looks like Mufutsi Magadzire was unable to take that one on, and they will continue with the advantage. Looking for the sidestep, maybe one too many sidesteps there for Joshua Chitewe, and he's pulled straight into touch.
Yeah, maybe St. John's guilty of one too many offloads there. It is okay to take contact once in a while. If there's nothing on, put it down. As long as you've got supporting runners to secure the ball, you should do fine. Remember, what Loma Gandhi Bisons suffer the risk of doing now is that score stretching away from them. So they need to score next in this game. Even if it's 3 points, just keep that scoreboard ticking because this scoreline could get away from them.
Oh yes, it could run away from them. One of the things that we've been talking about is Idanai Marware needs to get into the thick of things here and make sure that his lineouts are working out well. It looks like they are well, but the referee says no, that one was not in straight, and immediately hands possession back to the Rams. That is not needed. That's what I was talking about. Idanai Marware needs to get into the thick of things here. Make sure that things go according to plan.
Yeah, at line-out time, he's had a game to forget, has Marware, but he'll be keen. His players will be telling him, don't worry, buddy, there's still time, which there is in this game. So if they can put their act together, again, like what the Rams have done well this half, rack up the phases, keep the ball, be patient, they could get back into this, but they need to respond.
Oh yes, they need to respond, but with the way things are looking right now, it looks like it is the Rams who are going to continue with the ascendancy that they currently have right now. A referee not happy with the way that that scrum was being set up there, and calls for it to be reset. So it looks like the 8th man is out of the scrum for St. John's. That's Munyaradzi Rureredzo. I think there's a bit of a move that they're working out here, adding to their backline. Pretty interesting move.
It's not often you see the backs lined up behind each other like they're lining up for break time, but there we go. They start separating, fanning out. They are. Doesn't work out. Trouble, remember. It's Miguel. Steps inside. He's still going. Great tackle. Great supporting run. The Bisons. It is Michael Mavera taking it up. They're 5 meters short now. Setting it up. Take contact. Good Jackler over the ball, but they have it. That move went horribly wrong for the Rams.
Oh yes, and here comes Mupamadzi looking to press over. There's good enough support now looking here. Oh, here we go. That's a big hit from your good hooker, Idanai Marware. Ball comes out, now looking to spread it down the line. They can go over, and it is a try time. You did mention it, Tario. You said that they had to score next, and I'm sure that one wired straight to Bob Mahari and straight onto the field of play for the Bisons, and that's a try time from Brendan Gwenzi.
Game on, Rainbow, game on. Again, when you keep the ball, when you have ball continuity, maintain possession, things happen. It's not always about offloading the ball, running. Sometimes stick to basics. They did that, a great pass to find Brendan Gwenzi. Brendan Gwenzi sliced through that gap like a hot knife through butter and scored the try.
Oh yes, it was actually like a hot knife through melting butter. There was no way there was going to be any form of resistance. Now Michael Mavere. Well, I think you hear that one through the mics, and that is the Lomagundi support saying, why are you so quiet over there? And they're saying, look at the scoreboard. I mean, this is the stuff that we love happening here at the home of the Rams on Honeyfield, where Lomagundi have pulled back arrears, but they need Michael Vere to get the conversion over. Now it looks like there's a bit of a discussion here between the touch judges and the referee. Could this try be actually cancelled?
Whenever you see the ARs having a conference like this, you'd feel there's a decision that may be overturned, or is one of the Rams players in trouble here? Do we have foul play? It's the
Trivella
rugby director being asked to please go and sit down, is it? Not too sure when we find out what that could, but I mean, sorry to say, remember, you can't have that. Let the boys play. Go and take your seat on the bench. That frustrates me. Sorry for getting a bit emotional, but you can't have that.
Oh yes, we need to get the boys playing, and with World Rugby having actually stipulated the rules, saying, come on, nobody is supposed to be anywhere near the field, going onto the field as a water boy, as a rugby director, or as a rugby coach. You aren't supposed to be anywhere near that, and this is being implemented by the referees, and well done to them for that.
And now look, the game had to be stopped, and that issue needed to be attended to. Shouldn't be happening, especially at schoolboy level. For me, that's a big no.
Oh yes, it kills the momentum, but here comes the kick from Michael Mavera, and unfortunately he doesn't get the direction right there. So it is Lomagandi who are still trailing by 6 points. St. John's is still in the lead, 19 points to 13. The Bisons are refusing to die. Now if they've learned anything from their more recent play, Oh my gosh. I wish the camera guys could see this, but in any case, they won't. In any case, the Bisons now get onto it, and Mupamadzi, he's going for it, but I think that was also a poor decision close to the touchline. He needed to have passed that on to his winger, Joshua Chitewe, and maybe that would have actually helped them proceed forward. At this point, you mustn't lose the ball. No need to be making poor decisions. Play some test rugby, basic skills, pass the ball down the line, create some phases. As you rightly put it, Tariro, let's keep the ball in hand and something will happen.
The touchline is a 16th defender. You don't want to play close unless you have a clear run. But when you're tackled like that, you don't want. You cut in early and you get the ball back in the field of play. The battle is not only on the field, remember. There's a battle off the field. The two schools are... It's just crazy, the banter. Referee is getting stuck in that breakdown saying, leave it, leave it. But there we go. They have cleared it, but only as far as Stefan Kruger. And here he goes again.
Here he goes again, going for that. He's seemingly breaking through one or two tackles, which is very concerning for the Bison's defense. They need to get rid of that. And here we go. He throws the ball back in. The Bisons have got the ball, but it looks like...
the 16th defender yet again.
Oh, yes, and he's come into play. And he's come into play this time round on the side of the Bisons. So the Bisons need to get their line out right. Come on, Idenai Marware. You need to get this one right. It seems like his lineouts are not going in straight. And if we can't get that right, he will continue giving back possession to the Rams.
Yep, Idenai Marware under pressure here. He has to, I'm sure it'll be a 2-ball. It is, and guess what? It's turned over. The Rams with ball possession. Connor Grant doing the right thing. Set it up. Don't try and force the pass. I've been singing that song all half here, but there we go. They are keeping it close. Connor Burnett, look at him, stepping, running, just like his older brother does for the Goshoks, showing his class.
Oh, yes, and that is a penalty in favor of the Bisons, holding on to the ball there, Connor Burnett, and they decide to go for a quick tap and go. And that is an offload. Sigauke trying a sidestep, but there was far too much traffic for him to have actually thought he would have gotten out there. Andrew Creel with the ball in hand, looking to gain some meters, and he does. Good protection of the ball by the Bisons, being picked out by Mvumi, and he goes into that one, but that looked like a high tackle, but the referee not signaling any advantage there. Once again, that is Chinwada with the ball. He's the vice captain. Now the ball sent out. Mavere gets the ball out to their winger. Oh, he has gone through. He is wearing jersey number 21. He goes down, but he most likely will be penalized for that because he might have played the ball on the ground, but the referee says no problem with that. I guess we're refereeing from the commentary box, and he's on the field of play.
Yep, but they're doing just what I called, be patient in attack, rack up the phases. Did that player roll away soon enough? No, he didn't. So here they go. Don't force the pass, but it's worked. Oh, he says, excuse me, take a seat, and carries on going. So they're being patient. Spots a gap, does number 9, offloads it, forces it, but they are playing under a penalty advantage. Loma Gandhi doing the right things at the moment.
Oh, yes, doing the right things at the moment. But what I would prefer to see, once again, Michael Vere, calm down, young man, calm down. If the pass is not on, don't release the ball. Set it up. The support is coming, and it has been coming for you. So not a problem with that. And right now, looking at where the penalty is, go for post.
Because the wind is on your side.
Oh, yes, it's on your side, and that's what you want. Go for post, get it in between the sticks, and guess what? You will get another 3 points, and you close it down. That's exactly what you need. So let's see what Michael Mavere will be able to do. Look, in terms of his overall play, I haven't been too happy, and I'm sure Bob Mahari will also not be happy. He can do better, this young man. You've got explosive centers and wingers that are waiting for the ball. Get it out to them. You don't always have to shine, young man.
Yep, you don't always need to shine up. The team is always bigger than an individual. They are chasing a victory, a rare victory, I would add, on Honeyfield. So this kick goes over, fantastic, but it's not over. You're still trailing, but keep that momentum that you've carried leading up to this penalty.
Let's see Michael Mavere, can he get it? It looks like he has skewed that one. Oh, goodness me. That will be a 22 dropout for the Rams. That was an opportunity to reduce arrears. But look, even as it is, they would need a converted try to get back into the lead. So it's not too far away from them. And with the 22 dropout coming through, it means they will regain possession somehow, some way, because the ball will be kicked back into their own territory. So let's see how they go about things. It's a high hanging kick, well taken here. Let's see what will happen. Brendan Gwenzi sends it out. Joshua Chitewe with a poor decision. Isolated. Luckily for him, the ball is, well, unluckily for him, ball picked out. St. John's is going for the try line. Can they make it? And it looks like it's Tadiwa Majga. He has made it. That was poor from the Bisons, and they've paid the price.
You know what? They deserve to concede that try. That was poor. 22 dropout. You get the ball. You pass it to someone. They get tackled. You don't even have the decency to go and support the person you've passed through. It's picked up by Tadiwa Majga like it was offered to him on a platter. What does he do next? He scores, dives in front of the supporters. Here we see the replay. Fends someone. I mean, no one near to him. He's putting on the afterburners. Puts it down, but the Bisons, is that the game, remember?
I don't think it's the game as yet. I'm sure the Bisons might look to score again, but then again, Michael Mavera spurred a penalty opportunity there. And there we go. The 22 dropout was poorly dealt with in the aspect of the Bisons. They really needed to have done better. The support needs to be there. And once again, this switching off in defense, I don't know what's going on with the Bisons here, but the Rams are taking full advantage of it, and they are in an 11-point lead with a conversion yet to come.
Andrew Robinson booming with confidence. The strike is good. The direction is not good, but they are still 24 points to 13 in the lead, and they can chirp him all they want to the Lomagundi Bison supporters, but the scoreboard ultimately has the biggest chirp.
Oh yes, the statistic that matters the most is the one that is counting right now. So let's see what the response from the Bisons here would be. Michael Mavere needs to control the game better. Anesu Mvumi need to control the game better. You've seen what Edward Sigauke can do. Get the ball to him. Again, the restart kick is poor, bringing back the scrum to the halfway line. The young man is having a torrid afternoon.
Yeah, he's having a torrid afternoon. It's crumbling, is it, for the Bisons? They need a response soon because they need to score twice if they're to have the W in sight. At the moment, it's all the Rams. But that came just as they had started getting into the second half, building up the phases, owning possession of that ball, and then bang, it's up against the wall again.
Oh yes, just about 17 minutes are gone within this half, and so it means the time is running out. We've reached the halfway point within this second half, and 3 quarters through the match. Let's see what the Rams will do here. Once again, the Bisons just shoving a little bit too early, and luckily for them, the referee is saying, calm down, boys. I need another reset here. Make sure that the scrum is right. And as you can see, every time that they're pushing, the Rams can't hold down that scrum.
Yeah, as you can see in picture, the Loma Gandhi Bisons, that is a massive unit. They do have the weight advantage. Unfortunately, they haven't managed to capitalize on it throughout this game. They haven't managed to dominate, enforce some penalties, but it's Connor Grant who finds, again, that good combination of him and Andrew Robinson. He puts too much on it, you'd fancy. Is it going to go over touch in goal? Yes, it has. So it'll go they've got the option. So where he kicked it from, and so overcooking it a bit there did Andrew Robinson.
Oh yes, overcooking it, and maybe I think that might have been the wrong option at that point. He did have men on the outside. They could have gone past the ball down the line, go down, reset it, and then try to run the ball back towards the left-hand side or the far side of the field. I'm sure that would have been a better option for them. But look, at the end of the day, right now, they're sitting pretty. They're 11 points ahead. Sometimes you can afford to make a couple of mistakes when you're sitting on that cushion, but not too many, lest the Bisons get back into the match.
Yep, so it's scrum time yet again. They've opted for the scrum where Andrew Robinson kicked that ball. Anesu Mvumi, he'll be looking for Michael Mavera. Maybe switch it up a bit, put Edward Sigauke at 10. I don't know. This is just us in the com box.
I would feel that you would actually neutralize this effect. Once again, the 8-9 has not been working. And I do know where they actually picked that up from. Bob Mahari used to use it quite a lot when he was still back at Churchill, when he had Prince Munemo and Matthew Owuru doing that for him. But here we go, loose play, the ball is all over the place, and the Rams will lap it up all day, and they've got a huge overlap here on the near side, and Connor Burnett, what a fend off there against the captain, goodness me. And there we go. The defense of the Bisons in 6s and 7s. Young man, that ball was knocked forward. So not to worry. It is going to be a Bisons scrum here. So let's see how that is going to work out.
Oh, strong fend there from the Rams number 6, Connor Burnett. I think the words there were, excuse me, please kindly sit down.
Well, not to say that there are any seats in the field of play, but...
Well, he put him on his seat.
Oh, yes. And here we see a substitution. Actually, 2 substitutions have occurred. That is on both sides. We've seen Andrew Creel now coming off. And we do have a substitute player coming on and replacing him in the lock position for the Bisons. We've also seen Mufudzi Magadzire also coming off. And we do have number 18. But he is a substitute player for the Rams. So, and now freshening up and just trying to make sure that they can control the game all the way to the end here.
Yep, they need to. I guess the victory is not out of the equation completely for the Bisons. They scored 2 converted tries. They'll win the game. That is given that the Rams don't score. So there's still something to play for here for the Bisons. Have they given up? They're under the pump, yes, but it's important for them not to give up.
Oh, yes. And once again, I still come back to the issue. The 8-9 is not working. Let's get the ball straight out to Michael Mavera. And that one again, poor from the Bison's scrum. And I'm sure Andrew Robinson, if he's got any mind here, he should be going for the post because it looks like it's right in front of it. Even if you are just to kick it like a dying duck, it will go over. And surely they can stretch their lead.
Yep, great call there from the captain, Daniel Erasmus. No hesitation in telling Andy Robinson, let's go for poles, buddy. Take your time. There's no rush. Use your 90 seconds to the fullest here. Give us a breather, and they'll start again after this kick.
Well, let's see Andrew Robinson. He'll be taking his sweet time, but not too much because as well the rules do state that you have to kick it in a certain amount of time as well.
90 seconds, yeah.
But that 90 seconds could prove to be the difference between a try or not. So Andrew Robinson has the silence of the crowd as well as the confidence of the support of his school. He goes for it. It looks like it's good. And it is. And so St. John's now in the lead, 27 points to 13. And one does feel that it is an uphill task from here for the Bisons.
Yep, it is now an uphill task. They need to be clinical with the ball now. I mean, what a story it would be if they can come back and snatch a victory here. What a story it would be. But one would fancy that I think it's a little too much for the Bisons. They will now play for the pride that is on the left of their badges there, of their jerseys. Can they finish this game the way Bob Mahari would want them to?
Well, I'll be honest with you. One of the changes that Bob Mahari has to make, in my view, would have been Michael Mavera. He's had a torrid time on the park. The kicks not going in the way that they should. Connor Burnett there with a couple of side steps, breaking through. Oh, goodness me. Connor Grant is just breaking through tackles here. He's actually run close to 20 meters across the field there and sending it back into Bison's territory. So the Bisons are just struggling to control play here, but they decide to go for a quick tap and go here. That's Mvumi. And whoa, what a big tackle that was. And a counter ruck coming through. Michael Mavera again offloading when the offload is not there. Well picked up. Again, another offload coming through. So Bison's now looking to build up some play with their captain Sigauke in the midst of it. Popping the ball but not making too much ground. I don't think that helps the Bison's cause.
Doesn't, but they need to continue being patient here. Idanai Marware, great carry. He's still going, still on his feet, getting some much needed front foot ball for his team there. Now it's that man with the big boot. Tanaka Mupamadze throws it out to Ryan Chiwaya. Ryan Chiwaya linking up now with Divine Maramwidze. And the knock comes in, remember.
Once again, do not offload when it is not there. What I would have loved to see, particularly once they got it to Ryan Chiwaya there, I would have loved to see them set it up because the support was actually there. Then send the ball back into the field of play. I'm not so sure what is so difficult about trying to dodge the 16th man, who is the last line of defense.
Yeah, you wonder, hey, remember, you wonder. But good front foot ball, everything seemed to work until the last pass needed to be made. So, yeah, not working at all for the Bisons here. The Rams, you can see they are sensing it here. There's more instruction coming on from off the field there. But, yeah.
It doesn't seem like as if we can stop it, so we'll just keep it going here.
If you can't beat them, join them, I guess.
Well, I'm not so sure if we can shout any instructions from the commentary box. I'm not so sure if we would get any ears to that. But one thing I must say, Connor Burnett has been having a beauty of a game. And if I'm thinking of the team selection for the Craven Week side, I think it's going to be so immense because that's the same position. You're talking about the likes of the young Pritchard, who is down in Blawayo with the Falcon Mad Dogs. Oh, jeez. I mean, there's going to be headaches, serious headaches there for Max Madziva once he gets into national colors.
Yep, there is going to be headaches. But it's good. It's good that these guys are playing. There will be competition, and you want that in a team setup. The more depth you have, the more the people up their game.
Well, yeah, so let's see what will happen here. There is a bit of an injury for Loma Gandhi Bisons, particularly that tackle coming through on Divine Maramwidze. He was taken out and he's being attended to. And once again, Bisons here just shoving a little too early. The scrum was wheeling. Surely the referee is going to call for a reset, and that's exactly what he has called for. So it actually looks like it's a St. John's player who's out right there. I thought it was Divine Maramwidze because he seemed to be the one who was chucked out off the touchline there. But let's see how they go about business here. Do the Rams. I'm sure Andrew Robinson is getting ready for a big, huge kick out of his own territory. Don't want to play around with the ball in your in-goal area.
A Tanaka Mupamadzi-like kick.
I'm sure he's taking some notes, isn't he?
If you were to pick at this stage in the game a man of the match, who would it be, remember?
Oh, wow. I think Connor Burnett and Connor Grant have been doing really well. Goodness me, Andrew Robinson has been great. On the side of Loma Gandhi, to be fair, I think only Edward Sigauke, because he brought in the try, as well as Brendan Gwenzi. Maybe those are some to think about. Ryan Chiwaya has been making some forays, but unfortunately those runs are not working, and sometimes it just needs you to change that up and make it work. But look, I think there are quite a number to pick. Also, Stephen Kruger, his runs from deep have been working out for the Rams as well. So here we go. Idanai Marware decides to throw it through, but it looks like the young man from Lomagundi there has been injured. I'm not so sure if that one even came in straight, because it looks like he took it at an angle and he landed very awkwardly.
Oh, yeah, he's looking very still. There's a cause of concern. Immediately the referee called the medics onto the field, so we hope that's not too much of a serious injury. Will be quite a dampener to the end of this game, seeing someone being stretched off. So, oh yeah, he landed quite horribly there. The lifter's not bringing him down to ground safely, but good call from the referee.
Oh yes, the breeze is blowing and the time is moving. Roughly 10 minutes left in this second half, and St. John's would be maintaining their unbeaten streak unless Loma Gandhi can come with some miraculous comeback here. But I think in 10 minutes, with the way that they've been playing, it might not be possible. And I'm sure Bob Mahari will be ruining some of the opportunities that have been missed by his boys on the field of play.
Yep, he will be. Nice to see. He's just put a thumbs up there. The player who's lying on the ground, the medic's doing the right thing. When you have a spinal or back injury, you don't really want to be lifting a player up, because you might cause even more damage to what's already been caused. But he did give a thumbs up signal, which is nice to see.
All right, so once again, for all of you that are first aid practitioners, or those of you that are wanting to become first aiders at your school, these are some of the basic techniques that are also on the World Rugby website that you can learn about on how to carry someone that has fallen awkwardly, to just make sure that they haven't broken anything, that their spine is still intact, that they themselves are also in the right mind to tell you where they are feeling the pain and to be able to adequately attend to them.
Yep, absolutely. Wise words there, remember. But it's nice to see that players' welfare is the most important. I don't mind the game being stopped for an injury concern, not like the stoppage we had a bit earlier. But anyway, we wish this youngster well. Hopefully he can get back on the bus with his peers back to school and not have to be detained any further.
Well, there we go. The final strapping there being put in place. And just making sure he is secure before they do lift him up, and of course attend to him in the ambulance that is waiting, because I'm sure he will be taken into the medical tent or the ambulance to just make sure that all signs are good. And so of course a round of applause once again from the boys on the field of play, as well as the crowd. And you love to see this, even coming from St. John's College supporters. This is what the game of rugby is all about: camaraderie. Yes, we're friends off the field of play, but on it, well, it is the statistic that you're seeing on the screen right now that matters. It is St. John's College leading 27 points to 13 with a scrum ready to come through after that awkward fall, and it is the Bisons who have the ball. They need to score a try here if they're to get back into it. A converted try, it will be nothing short of what they need right now.
Yeah, nothing short of what they need. Maybe 2 quick tries, bang, bang, and they're back in it. Will the Bisons be? But yeah, the thoughts are with McLeod Muzondiwa, who was stretched off. But back to the game, Andrew Robinson trying to put in a big hit kick there, and he does that. This time, it's almost a repeat of last time. This time, will they support each other well? Oh, no, remember. You won't believe it.
I've been sent into silence, really. I'm not so sure what exactly they were trying to do there. Another option, which I would have taken, I would have received the ball like the number 11 did and actually gone for a dab over, because all of the St. John's College defense is rushing. And maybe that would have also given my Bisons runners and attackers the opportunity to come behind me and also pursue for the ball. But that was a poor decision. It hasn't worked out in the times that they've tried to execute it. Why are you continuing with the plan? Anyway, St. John's will be lapping it up. They do have a little bit of an 8-man break here. Connor Grant sends it back. It looks a bit awkward. It's knocked on. It's picked up. Ryan Chiwaya, does he have the legs? Well, I don't think he does. He tries to pop it, and it looks like it's being set up by Joshua Chitewe. Ball picked up. Michael Mavere, a dummy, runs through the gap. He's going. He's going. Is he gone? Well, he is 5 meters away. Can they pick it up and take it over?
Happened there?
Oh, what a knock on. And that is poor. But a good run out of their own 22. But a big tackle coming through from the Bisons. And there we go, now being picked up by Munyaradzi Rurerezo. He goes into contact now to Andrew Robinson. Now the Rams can go on counter-attack. Daniel Erasmus on the ground. A counter-ruck there being taken. And it looks like it's a penalty in favor of the Bisons. A quick tap and go. They go for it. Sending it to Idanai Marwere. Yes. Can they pick it up and go for the try line? For the in-goal area? They do have it, and it looks like Mpamazi is going to go over, and he does. Oh, goodness me, he knocked it on as he was going over. What a day for the Bisons, not going their way.
Yeah, the ball hasn't bounced kindly for them, unfortunately, in key moments in this second half, and they haven't managed to really add to the 13 points that they scored. So unfortunate for them, but I mean, it was a great afternoon. We see there, cleared through. Oh no, what a hand there though from Andrew Robinson. That was immense. He saved a definite try there, did Andrew Robinson.
Oh yes, he saved a definite try, and I think with that, that is the hopes of Lomagundi pulling this one back, fizzling into thin air right now, and I don't think that they will have the power to do that. We can also see some of their supporters already getting ready to get back into the school bus. The trip to Chinoy will be a long and very quiet one, believe me.
Yeah, it will be a long and quiet one, but I mean, they should hold their heads high. They came and they competed with what one would say the best, remember.
Oh yes, definitely. I think they really came up to put a show, but unfortunately they were just found wanting by the Rams, who are a bit more clinical than the Bisons. I'm sure the Rams would have expected a larger margin of victory with the way they dominated the first half, but they will still be happy with the scoreline right now. A big shove from the Bisons, looking to really put pressure. Andrew Robinson under some serious pressure. That was Daniel Erasmus. Stefan Kruger, a tackle has been made. He has to put the ball down because, hey, no way he's going to get up from there and make things happen. And it looks like this time round is going to be a 5-meter scrum, and it's in favor of the Bisons. So look, I think to just reduce arrears and to maybe just, what can we say, polish the result, they need a converted try from here. If they lose 27-20, I don't think it would be too bad of a result.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It'll be a consolation try for sure, but great pressure there. They were under pressure. They thought they could pass it around in their in goal. It was a bad pass initially from Connor Grant to Daniel Erasmus, who then tried to find Stefan Kruger, and he was attacked like a swarm of bees there. But, yep, it's a chance, though, for the Gandhi Bisons to finish this game well.
Oh, yes, here we go. And there we go. Why they've been pushing so early, you really don't understand. And I'm sure Bob Mahari will be wondering, what is it that I didn't teach these boys to do right? And there we go with a quick tap and go. It says that you are not back 10 meters, Bisons. And once again, look at the body language when you've got a penalty just about to be taken. Already with your backs towards the opposition. This is Rugby 101. When a penalty has been given to the opposition. And that is the end of that. The Rams have rammed through the Bisons and they've continued their unbeaten streak. They've won this match on Honey Field, 27 points to 13. Max Madziva had his tactics right and they were able to overcome the Bisons. The Bisons, enemies of their own progress, enemies of their own, doing, and ultimately it is the Rams that took advantage, Terry.
Yep, deserved winners are the Rams. They did say during the week that they will guard their home jealously. They've done that this afternoon. They've picked up another win. They continue on their unbeaten run. Wow, their season is suddenly blossoming here. They need to continue on this momentum, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see the Rams with an unbeaten season.
Well, an unbeaten season is still too early to call, but we will see how all of that will work out. And of course, Doug Trivella, Max Madziva will be a very proud technical team alongside the likes of Costa Dina, whilst the one with Gary Nyawata as well as Bob Mahari will not be smiling at all.
They won't be smiling, but they can hold their heads high, because they came to the Rams. They scored 13 points. The Rams scored 27. They lost this game, but they need to pick themselves up come next week because the season doesn't stop now, and they are still a very good outfit, and we just wish them all the best for the rest of the season, as well as the Rams for the rest of the season.
So that is the end of that. We brought you the action live from the home of the Rams, and it is the Rams that have succeeded. 27 points to 13 over the Loma Gandhi Bisons. It's not the Gandhi we had in mind, but anyway, you know, for me, Flyer should have been taken off after the first half. He was crapping himself throughout the game. He was having a horrible time. I'm sure if he had actually taken the Flyer off, it would have helped his game. That's the case. He's crazy. He definitely should be in the crazy.